introduce yourself real quick. What do you do? And just give us an idea so that way we know exactly what questions we ask.
Yeah, so my name's Shauna Petruno. I am a part-time model. I also have my own radio show, but I love helping people get beautiful skin from the inside out and focusing on skincare issues, but looking at it the whole picture. So boosting people's confidence from an internal mindset and also looking at the foods that they eat that impact their skin.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. You're mixing. I like that you connect in the inside and the outside. I truly believe, and I know for sure that no matter how much somebody wants to work on the outside, if the inside doesn't change, nothing really changes. That's
never.
that's why, like in fitness, for example, somebody could look good on the outside, can build muscles, lose weight, but if the inside doesn't change, they still feel the same. So 100% with you on that.
Absolutely. It all happens like an internal mindset thing. And also you want to fuel your body to with the right foods. And you know that.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. So we talked before, and there's a lot of things that you impress me with what you do. Honestly, first off, you're like on top of your game all day long. I love it, and
Oh, thank you.
I love you don't talk about, oh yeah, make your skin look better. Yeah, work out and lose weight. It's not like the superficial. You you really tap into the inside, and I know a little bit about your story as far as challenges you went through, and some of them were so personal that you had to overcome. And I think one was like the beauty fitness related. So if you want to share a little bit of that, because
Yeah.
might be in the same position, will benefit from, and then I'll add my thoughts into it as well.
I'm so excited to talk about this. So, yeah, I used to have a very extreme thinking with food and nutrition and also exercise. So, I would do things to extremes. It developed into an eating disorder and extreme exercise addiction, to the point where I was afraid to work out because I had got down to about 60 pounds, and I'm a tall, not like super short, but I'm about 5'7", 5'8", and I was completely unhealthy, and almost lost my life due to it. So I
Wow.
developed, yeah, almost developed a fear of working out because I was scared that I didn't know how to do it and that it would turn into an addiction. I no longer have that problem. I'm nicely balanced, but it was like a huge, huge problem for me.
Wow, that's serious. Like, I'm glad that you were aware of it, and then you faced it. Now looking back, it's a story you share that inspires others. But for the ones, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who are in that place still. Um, if you don't mind, share with me or with us going through that experience. What was it like when you say I had the fear of working out and the addiction of gym? What does that mean? Because to me, I don't see a problem with getting addicted to working out. So why was that like a negative thing or a problem back then?
For myself, I think it was because there was like no self-love, and I would go to the gym and it was a problem because I would go there and it would be like 10 hours a day. And then top of like going to school and all the other things I was doing, there was no time for sleep. So it was unbalanced. Like there was no time to eat, no time to this. It just because like a high from working out. So that became something that was like debilitating because the reason why I was doing it was for outside approval and always to kind of keep pushing myself. But that was from like, I realized like not a lot of self love, I think.
Got you. But what's the problem? Because I see the motive is not a lot of self-love, but what is the problem of getting addicted to fitness or working out?
Well, it was because I didn't know how to stop. So like it would come between like healthy relationships. Like I wouldn't want to hang out with anyone. I remember at one point I was going to dance. I would go to school in the morning and I would walk at 5 a.m., probably about 3 miles or like a huge place all the way to the bus stop. And then I would go to the gym before school, like walk while I was like doing all these things. So it became like it was the focal point of my whole entire life. Everything
Mm.
revolved around it. Like I wouldn't do other things or have relationships. It was just the focal point of everything.
Got it. Makes sense. This is where like you overdid it or overused it.
Yeah.
That's got you. And that definitely explains. So there was no self-love, and because of that, there was that fear
Yeah.
that
Like extreme
I
fear.
don't do this, then that will happen. But instead of understanding that this need to be like working out need to be part of my lifestyle, but not my whole entire lifestyle. You don't want to become the machine. You don't want to become the gym. You want to use the machine as a tool, but not become the tool,
Exactly.
right?
And I think it was like I just didn't know how to eat properly for anything. Like I just had such an unreal expectation. Like I didn't know what I was doing. Like so didn't know how to do it properly. And then I was trying to achieve something which I don't even know what I was, there was no goal, right? Like I just it was just it was an addiction.
Got you. So you didn't have a clarity on what was going on, and you were
No.
by fear. So there's we don't know where we're going, and there's that fear pushing. So we're just going, but we don't know where we're going.
No, don't know.
Right. And what was the negative effects from that? What did that do to you? Because I know as we're talking, a lot of people do that. I can see that in them from their behaviors, but they're afraid of talking about it. So what happened? Like what was the negative effect from it?
Oh my gosh, I ended up like getting injuries long term. Like I ended up with osteoporosis. Yeah, really bad stuff that kind of took my health down a really negative pillar. Wasn't sleeping, was like irritable. Like I would say almost like a irritable, but a little also sometimes like robotic. Like there was no emotions. Um, yeah, it just was a really horrible existence. Like I was all I could think about was exercising all the time because of that adrenaline hit. Like I was just like, I want this hit, and it became like a drug for me.
Wow. Wow. It literally like it just became the drug and just want to take as much as you can from it.
Yeah, and it was just crazy because there was no other things that I had, and I was equating, I think, because I didn't know how much to eat for my what I was trying to achieve. So just not knowing, not having self-love just spiraled and all this other stuff underneath it, which is coming to like that inner and outer beauty connection and all of that and the mindset. There was no goal. There was just this makes me feel good. It was mindless. I was guess it was like a hit. Like it was like a hit for me.
Got you. Wow. That is so deep.
Mhm.
So deep. And so what was what was the moment when you're like you had to stop doing that where you're like okay you know what this is not when did you realize it was not the healthy way of doing it what happened
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I was there was a couple times. So my dance teacher took me aside one time and she's like, "Are you okay?" And she's actually a huge person who helped me. And then the gym instructor came up to me and she like literally took me aside and she's like, "You're scaring people. Like
wow
you're actually scaring people because you keep dropping weight." And she would weigh me when I came in to make sure. So I had people who were obviously looking out for me. I don't know if I would still be here if I had those little guardian angels. Like my dance teacher was a huge person who like she would just and then she started inviting me to things like maybe this girl needs some sort of like mentoring or something. But yeah, it was really bad. Like it was really bad.
wow but it's amazing how and interesting how somebody from the outside of yourself can see what's going on and steps up and shows you the way and just with one moment you change your you navigate differently in your mindset and it takes you to a whole another lifestyle.
Absolutely. So sometimes we're too close to things, as you know, Sam. Like we're looking at things and we think we know the whole situation, but we've only perceiving it from what we understand. So
Right.
I didn't know. I'm like, okay, when I eat, food's bad. I need to exercise. This makes me feel good, and this makes me feel not guilty. So I'm gonna do that. But I guess they knew better. I kind of resented them when they started to help me though, because it was an addiction. Like I literally had to overcome it. And I had to go abstinence for a bit. So now I'm encompassing healthy exercise and food balance, but it was really, it was difficult.
Wow, I can imagine. You know, looking at everything you just mentioned, what really stood out the most, your honesty with yourself. because you don't see, like right now, from this state you're in, you don't seem like you're trying to pretend that it does not exist. It seems like at a certain point you're like, you know what, these people, the coach or the trainer, whoever it was, they got a point of view that you needed to see, and you trusted that, and you were open-minded and honest about, you know what, maybe there's something more on the other side, and you gave that yourself that chance where you approached it from a different angle, and that's what took you to where you're at today.
Absolutely. I don't think I would have had you. Everyone needs, whether it's like you, Sam, helping someone, we need people who are experts in those fields because we have blind spots.
Yeah,
And we
exactly.
have blind spots and limiting beliefs, and we can only get so far. But when you have someone who actually has your best interest and can take your hand, like that's so beneficial to align yourself with people who actually care about your well being.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So now, what I want to do, I want to do like a little role play with you, because somebody else still in that place, and they're probably struggling with either losing weight, or maybe they're addicted to fitness, or they're driven by fear, not self-love, and we want to help them out. So if you don't mind, we'll do this process real quick. If you were Shauna from back in the days who was addicted to fitness, and I would have this conversation with you to coach you, which to share that so others could be coached at the same time watching. My question to you would be, if that mindset was unhealthy, the previous mindset was unhealthy and was creating negative effects to you, what is you need to change it? What would you ask for? I must what?
What must I ask for? You know, when I was in it, I didn't even know what I needed. I thought I knew best. So that's why I kept doing it. Like I didn't know. Hindsight is 2020 now. Now I do know. But looking back, I think I would have needed someone to show me what what I was trying to attain. I
Yeah.
wanted to I think I was looking for love, honestly, and I thought if I or approval or whatever, and then it became like how low can we go with this? So I was trying first to get the outside validation, and then when I wasn't getting outside validation because everybody thought I looked too sickly, I started like going down with numbers. So I just needed guidance. I think I needed real guidance and help understanding maybe the body, the anatomy, and a community. Like for sure, I needed a community. And maybe like really breaking down what made me happy because I don't think I had factors in my life because I came from a really rough upbringing that made me happy. So this was an external source of approval and a quick hit of happiness.
Got you. The approval is what stood out the most now. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. So go back to that time, and let's now. Right now, I want to be that person who would guide you through that process. So we'll
Okay.
just role play it. So my question to you is: if you're addicted to fitness and you're making it just your whole entire life and runs you because you're driven by fear, let's say if you were given a role to play a character, and that character is a fitness model. Think about a fitness model, or somebody you admire her body the most. Who would that be?
Um, I really like um, Miranda Kerr. I think I like her because she's also in the modeling industry. But I also know that she eats healthily, so I
Okay.
like her.
So give me three characteristics of her that leads to where she is now.
Well, I love that she's also a mom and that sort of thing. So she's hardworking. She's a business owner, which obviously I can relate to having my own business. She's a model, which I also do. And she takes a holistic, kind of a holistic approach. So she's balanced and she has a healthy family life. Like it's all balanced. So she seems balanced.
Got you. So I like this. So it stood out. She has a balance in her life. Not everything, not one thing is everything, but she's got a balance. Do you think she overeats or undereats?
I don't think so. I don't know her personally, but based on that, I would say like if you're sustaining everything in her life and you need energy to do those things and you need to have energy to get up and show up continuously because eventually if you're not doing things consistency you burn out. So she's been pretty cons- like continuous. So I would say she treats her body kindly.
Kindly. Okay. Now, would you say she is confident or not confident? What does she look like?
She's super confident,
Super.
like super confident.
And based on her being super confident, for a person with a super confident, does he or she needs approval of others?
No.
So if somebody's opinion does not matter to this model we're talking about, what do you think a response to her to that would be?
Well, it would just be like probably like I don't care what you think because this is my life, like
Exactly.
100%. Like I'm doing this for me and the things that are important to me.
Exactly. So she's prioritizing herself, she's putting herself first, and she don't care what others say.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now we got one more. Um, do you think she loves herself or she relies on others to show her love and for that she seeks attention? Which one?
You know what? I just had this conversation on my radio show, and I really believe what you reflect on the outside is a direct relation to how you feel on the inside. So, the things that she's attracted in her life, she has to have a form of self love in how she shows up. So, carefree and charismatic. I would say that she has a really huge platform of self love,
Huge self-love. I love it. So now
huge self love.
if we adapt to these characters, if somebody who is driven by fear, afraid of working out, getting addicted to working out, adapts to these three characteristics, has a balance, uh, doesn't need to prove him or herself for others, just for her, and loves herself or himself instead of waiting for others to love them, what would happen? What would the change happen for that person?
There would be no addiction. Like the thing is you couldn't have an addiction if you love yourself. Like that's the thing. Like there would be because you care about like if I went back in time and looking at it, when I didn't have self-love, I would have been like, "Oh my gosh, what am I doing to my bones, my heart? It's eating itself, all these things." So anyone who had self-love wouldn't do that to themselves.
There we go. And so it's that simple. That mindset needs to adapt to healthier characteristics. Stop approving, start trying to seek approval from others. Stop trying to wait for others to love you. Stop trying to seek attention to satisfy others. Just focus on you, love you, do you, and have a healthy balance in your life, and your whole life changes. Right?
Absolutely. And accepting your body, like maybe my body's not going to look exactly but Miranda Kerr's when I'm at my healthy weight, but if I'm taking care of it in a healthy manner, I'm going to feel good in my body. And I'm not really going to care because I'm doing the actions and the self love practice because everybody's body is so unique, right? So,
Right. I like that. I like when you said everybody's body is so unique. You know, I had a conversation with someone I was coaching the other day, and she said she's not satisfied with where she at, even though she's in good shape, decent shape. And she said, I will not be happy until I look like Jennifer Lopez.
oh, that's so sad.
It's so sad. So I said, let's say it took you a year or 2 years or 3 years. You compare yourself to someone who is not you. Does that mean you're going to be pissed off, angry, criticizing your life between now and God knows how many years later? Then you will be happy. I said, do you realize what you're doing to yourself by comparing yourself to someone who is not you? You will never be somebody else.
Yeah, because we don't know their genetic makeup, their body chemistry, all those things. If, like, for me, there's certain types of things I have to do after having an eating disorder, how to love my body, because that takes a shock on your body. So we don't know all those factors. So you have to treat yourself like you're unique. Like you have to love yourself in a unique way. And like, but you need to be happy today because nothing's guaranteed. As we know, like you're going to live for tomorrow. You're going to miss out on life.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. See, that's the mindset from right now speaking. I love it.
Yeah. You're going to miss out on everything. You're going to miss out on that opportunity or whatever, looking for what you think. And when you get there, you're probably not even, as somebody who did it, as someone who did it, You're not even going to appreciate it. You're going to want to go lower because self-worth is an inside job.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I was sharing literally what you just said, something similar to someone. I said, you got to change that self image you got in your head in order for you to see the change. Because no matter how much progress you make, I don't care how many years from now, even when you get it, you still don't see it. And I use an example. I said, remember Michael Jackson, how he hated his nose?
Yes.
And he had, I think, over 10 surgeries to make his nose smaller. And his nose looked like literally just a piece of bone hanging. And in his head, still thinks he's got a big nose, and he hated that until the day he died. So all that change happened, still did not see it because the inside did not change.
And it won't change. And that's the thing that people have to realize. And I know you probably coach a lot of your clients on this is like no form of change, whether that be aesthetic, you get a surgery, you get rock hard abs, you are not going to live yourself until you change this. You
100.
won't. Because I could do all the things that I think, but unless my insides change, I'm not going to see myself. And then I'm just going to think, oh, now I need to do this. Now you look for the next thing because that's human nature.
Yep, exactly. Because you're seeking from the outside, not from the inside.
And there's going to be always something else you need to attain. So you're like, they call it monkey brain because I'm really into mindfulness. They call it the monkey. You're chasing the monkey. The monkey's doing all these things. So you've got
Right.
a monkey brain.
Right, exactly. And it will play games on you, it will trick you, and it will make you run in circles, and you won't, like, you'll be running on a treadmill, won't get nowhere.
Literally.